is on you and me. See this? Yep. They're spraying you from the skies day and night. This stuff's going in the food, it's going in the water, it's going into everything. They're creating a canopy over the top. Electrified. I don't talk about a bunch of weird shit. This stuff is full of nano, which will get into that in a couple seconds. Hang on. It rained here today, and the clumps of shit that were left on the leaves outside on my oak tree here was phenomenal. And it happened last week, and I filmed that and put it on video, and I think Dana Sugar commented as well. She's another chemtrail pro, or thereabouts. Nobody's a pro in this game. What I've been doing, well, I haven't been totally perfect on it, but I try to. This here is an anti-nano bucket, okay, and then it's all wrapped in copper wiring and this stuff. Then you plug it in, and this is a Tony Plantaresco item. He's from Herbs Plus Bee Works on Facebook or YouTube. Tony, he's a buddy of mine. He's from Windsor, Ontario. Okay, he's a real good guy when it comes to chemtrails and trying to get the nano out of your body. He's also got a nano triangle. This goes in the bathtub, right? Which I haven't really used too much because I don't take baths too often because I'm too much in a hurry all the time. I'm hornier than a 10-pecker billy goat to get going. And it's got all kinds of wires and stuff in here. But this is a nano bucket. You soak your legs in this, and it helps get the stuff out of your body that way. And then, yeah, see, I remember, well, a good friend of mine, she's in Windsor too. Gag Canada, Bernadette Green, right? I don't know if you can see that. The lighting's all screwed up, right? That's Bernadette. She's got Gag Canada on Facebook. Awesome information there. And then Suzanne Mara's also got the Bye Bye Blue Sky deal going on. I'm sure some of you know her from activism and stuff like that. Anyway, I've been doing the protesting and stuff on more than just freedom and whatever. I've been trying to fight for everybody's health. I mean, come on, man. The water's no good. The air's no good. The food's no good. Like, where in the name of Pete am I? I could have said a different word, but I'm trying to be child sensitive here. Anyway, so then I look at this stuff, and then, you know, I research it, and, you know, there is books and documentation like there's no tomorrow on this stuff. And anybody, I'm sure whoever's watching this video knows exactly what in the name of fuck I'm talking about. Pardon me, but I can't hold my breath. You know? These guys have got so much shit they've been doing to us over and over and over again. Weather modification, case studies. These guys got contracts between each other. Look right here. Agreement between Canada and the United States of America relating to the exchange of information pertaining to the modification of modification activities. This is a contract between the air. Anyway, what else we got here? Let's see here. It's just, this stuff is just crazy, man. What they're doing to us is maddening, man. You know, if you take the time and you research, I went to seminars and stuff like this at the University of Guelph, Ontario there with Andrew Calbury. He works at Ford Motor Plant, I do believe. But I mean, ionospheric reflecting. I mean, come on, man. Anyway, these guys are playing God, right? Here, fight against this, right? United States patents on all this stuff, right? And there's more paperwork, you know? Barium, cerate, aerosols. Oh yeah. Okay, now what these guys have been also doing with all this technology, they're involved with the disaster insurance business, right? So let's say Hurricane Sandy cost over $400 million in disaster insurance. I mean, come on, these guys are betting on this stuff. Anyway, and what also they're doing is they're playing with the Schumann resonance, which is in the sky there. It's basically keeps everybody ticking, and it messes up the wildlife, the birds, the sea animals. This one here is pertaining to Navy sonar tests that are beaching all these poor buggers, right? But I mean, the California wildfires, you know, I do not consent, right? I used to do this kind of stuff. Here's one that was with, I was promoting Atlanta Freeland. I don't know about her too much, but I mean, I know she's been, this is all these conspiracy culture bookstore. This is my friend Patrick White's place. I was telling you, I've been going there, well, I was going there for decades, but a long time, right? Anyway, these are Chemtrails, HARP, and the Full Spectrum Domination of Planet Earth by Atlanta Freeland, Saturday, April 18th, 2015 at St. George's campus. That's the U of T. She does speak, this is all pamphlets. I guess I was supposed to, these are what I got left over from putting them up on the streets and stuff. Yeah, so there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on here, guys. And it's a cluster on the head, right? And you try and wake people up to these things, and what you got to do is you got to try and take care of your health and get the shit out of your body. No wonder everybody's a fucking mental dump truck. Take a look around you, right? I don't know about you, but I mean, all I see is a bunch of overweight, obese, dumber than a dump truck people walking around just like, and like I was saying earlier in a video that for a couple months there, the summer was kicked in, and like there was almost like maybe one or two people a day you'd see wearing a face diaper. And now since the fall's kicked in and it's getting cooler here in Canada, and especially in Toronto here, them guys are dicking with the weather. I'd say when I was out today that probably 50% of the people I seen were wearing a face diaper. And then I don't know, I think this baseball here has got more IQ than most of these idiots out there. I don't know, God love them. I try my best to be compassionate about it and try and be an understanding kind of fellow, but sometimes you can get to a point where, you know, you just gotta say enough's enough. Sometimes when you're talking to some of these people, you know, I really get upset with somebody that's trying to defend NASA or the government or any of the paradigm that's going on out there with most of these retards. I mean, and then sometimes I know I have a short temper and I can bark. I was born in the year of the tiger. I'm a Cancer. That was 1962. So I mean, sometimes when I'm dealing with people, I just get so fed up. And I just say, man, come on, man. You really expect me to believe this? And I get pissed off and I walk away. Like sometimes I just can't deal with these people, man. And especially when you're you're doing activism and stuff. And I know last summer, me and Mike and a bunch of people were down at the waterfront there here in Toronto, right by the CN Tower, right on the waterfront anyway. And there was a guy there. I swear to God, he was a paid shill, I guess. But it almost came to blows with me and this guy, because I mean, Mike was there and he had his flat Earth T-shirt on, and this guy was giving Mike a hard time, and he was kind of like with us, but kind of not with us. And we're doing the Save the Children No Jab rally down there. It was a regular Wednesday thing we were doing, 5 o'clock in the afternoon until about 7:30, 8 o'clock. And you know, this guy was getting in Mike's face, and then I had another thing hanging up there that said Flat Earth, and this asshole picks it up and he goes to throw it in the lake. And that's when I got into it with him. You know, it's not a pretty sight, man, but I mean, I don't lose my cool very often, but I mean, when a guy like that, and then this is the same guy that busted Rob in the face with a titanium pipe a couple of weeks after that. Because this guy is just, his name's Kyle, real retard. Anyway, but you get upset when you're dealing with these fucking retarded people in this world, and you're only trying to wake them up to the good of things, right? And you're not trying to do it in a bad way. We're not down there doing activism to try and cause a problem. We're down there to cause some good health and some proper thinking. Anyway, this is what I do. I have my little zone here, and zone there, and zone over there, and kind of when I go outside, it's a crazy zone. But yeah, this is my little hideout here. I kind of get my peace of mind in here. I got 3 computers. I don't own a cell phone. I don't believe in any of that tech shit. My computers are having problems today. It's taking YouTube forever to load up the video. The technology that these people have got is, they've got voice to skull, and they've been working on this since, probably the 1960s. The MK Ultra stuff in these days. Project Monarch and all these weird CIA gigs. They have had, you know how they had that the Iraqi war, and they had the voice to skull thing with those military guys, and actually putting the thoughts into the Iraqi soldiers' heads, apparently, that they had convinced them that Allah had told them to give up their weapons and surrender, and they did. And it was a voice to skull project, and I don't know if this is true. Like, you know, half the shit you see on the internet is garbage anyway. And you know, the CGI, and I'm looking at these AI animation programs that they got out right now. They can make videos and movies and everything look as real as, well, I don't want to say as I'm talking to you now, but you know what I'm getting at. They can make it as real as pie. And so you got to be really careful about what you're following out there. There's a lot of good people out there pushing positive stuff. You know, I like checking out Ceiling Fan Man on Friday nights. It's got a good little Christian group. There's Melanie Moran, Jen, True Seeker 69. There's lots of people that show up there. I always get there on time, but I don't usually sit in the chat very much, because I have a tendency to go lay down and listen to stuff, because I'm a beat up old man. I made a video a while ago saying that how I was in a coma, and I was talking about this reincarnation crazy stuff. Now that I'm thinking about it, this just kicked in. But I was talking about how I was a prisoner of war, and I said South Africa, it was actually North Africa. And I had a wounded right leg, and then again I ended up in the US military sometime after that, and I was a pilot again. Pardon me, the first time I was a pilot, second time I was a pilot. I had this coma dream, and this is the second time I had a right leg problem too. And today, my right leg is a mess. Bilateral fractured femurs. My right femur is a compound fracture with a broken tibia. And the tibia was right to the bone, and it took almost 3 years for the skin to heal right over it. It healed over pretty quick in one spot, but there was one spot that was, there was a chunk of bone missing out of there, and that took a lot longer to grow over. But I mean, what I was getting at is, when I had this coma dream of me having being in a prisoner of war in North Africa, and I'm a prisoner of war now, right? With the wounded right leg, and this is in World War II. Then I end up in the U.S. military as a pilot again with a right leg problem. And then I look at myself today, and here I am with this right leg problem. I mean, I walk fine, don't get me wrong, right? You know, this is an accident that happened to me 41 years ago. So I'm used to living with it, right? Obviously. And I used to run like a gazelle. Don't kid yourself. Like I'm a go-getter. Anyway, the voice just got back to that. Sorry, I'm a little bit rambly here. Smoking a joint or two. No, I don't drink booze, and I don't take no pharmaceutical medications, and I don't take any pills whatsoever. So don't worry about that. Maybe it's the damn air. Anyway, the voice to skull stuff is taking place today in a bigger perspective, and it's turned down. It's not so direct, I do believe. That's why these people are all walking around kind of in a dream, you know. And this one here, this is Hidden Dangerous. This is Jerry Flynn from BC, British Columbia, Vancouver. He was a Canadian military weapons expert, Captain Jerry Flynn, and he's got this book, Hidden Dangers. He tells you everything all about this. You guys want to know about your cell phones? Why don't you buy this book? It tells you everything about what these guys are up to. I wish I had diagrams to show you. But he's got a whole list of every function that these cell towers do, what the cell phones are doing to people, everything, how it's totally tapped into the artificial intelligence. Right? You know? Crazy stuff, man. This is your power line, 50, 60 gigahertz. Magnetic fields. Those are magnetic fields, EMFs. Right? These guys are playing with everything. These guys are acting like God. Oh my God. Anyway, like I was saying earlier, I haven't owned a cell phone for 6 years now, and thank the Lord for that. I'm pretty cool with not having any of the tech, because I mean, this is what is ruining mankind today. I have been seeing just slowly but surely everybody just, every time I go out the door, their cell phone in hand, doing this, down, everybody's looking down all the time. Nobody wants to look at the sky. Who cares about the sky? I got my scrying mirror. I believe it's in the Bible, in Timothy, where it talks about the cell phone. Cut off thy hand, you know, if it spites your eyes or something. Cut off your right hand, or whatever the hell it says. I don't know what to say. People are hooked on today's technology, and it's worse than a drug. Give them all sugar, which is more addictive than cocaine. And I'll tell you, I've done a lot of cocaine. Oh boy. Yeah. It's a nightmare, man. But I try and stick it out, you know. I don't want you to give up on yourself. I try and be I'm learning just as much as anybody else, and so when I learn, I try and take my own life experiences and I kind of digest it with the stuff I've learned. You know, I got to analyze everything over and over and over again, because you don't. I'm really not into sharing information that doesn't have any. Is not true. That's about it. If it's not true, I don't want to share it. I mean, so I'm doing my best to find out the truth, and then once I'm convinced that this is good to go with, then I share it. That's why I can dig the meltology aspect of things, you know, but I don't think it's all meltology. Then there's the mud event stuff. And I think if you've got a shitload of volcanoes going off at the same time, and you got atmospheric rivers flowing around up there, a shitload of volcanoes going off at the same time, and all that smoke and dust and shit and whatever's going up into the atmosphere, that's going to start raining down like mud. You know what I'm saying? If you like, you know, if you have an event that several these are triggered, like there's been lots of volcanoes that happened in the 1800s. There was that one in 1880. I forget the name of it. It'll come to me. But Krakatoa. I mean, there's been all kinds of these things that happen, and you know, you look at if say Mount St. Helens and this thing blows up, all that smoke and all that dirt and everything's going right up into the atmosphere. And I think if you have a bunch of that stuff going on and it gets up into the clouds, I think it could possibly rain down on you in chunks of mud. I'm sure it could. And after a while, there's that aspect in combination with earthquakes, which is liquefaction of the ground, where houses actually sink right into it. And if you take a look at that the mud tsunami from Indonesia that happened, I think it was in 2014, where the earthquake was so big that the entire city just, it's a fascinating video to watch, but the entire landscape, it was like people were sitting there and you could see houses going by. It was like crazy. You have the New Madrid event of 1811, 1812. There was some other shit going on in the mid-1800s, and I think there was a big event that happened in the 17th century as well, sometime in the mid to early 1700s. And then I don't know. I'm trying to put all together the mud events in combination with the electrification of everything, because somehow there was a big meltdown, and it had to do with a lot of electricity, because obviously some people are aware that electricity also comes from the bottom up. A lot of lightning comes from the ground and goes to the sky. So when you take a look at what's going on here, and take your city and the layout of your city, you know, it's like a circuit board, you know, circuit board cities. And then what are we as mankind, right? I don't want to say humans, because humans is a disgusting term in legalese, so bear with me. But you got circuit board cities, and the amount of juice that's going on in your heart. See, they're going after your heart. They don't give a shit about your brain. They want the juice. That's why when you go to vote, all you're doing is taking your volts and going to the polls with your volts to the battery polls to give lesser of two evils permission to give it to you up the backside. Anyway, that's about it for now. I think I was touching on all the things, the flat realm, meltology, mud events, reset situations. Mankind is an experiment, and I think there's been the various versions of us. I've got giant books here, man. I've got giants and Gary Wayne. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books on giants. That's a strange looking critter, isn't it? This is it's a good book. Got the Ohio Mounds. This is the Encyclopedia of Ancient Giants in North America. Right? Anyway. See what I'm saying? That's just one of the books. I'll put that up later. But the thing is, there's all kinds of stuff on giants, man. This is Gary Wayne's Genesis 6, right? Gary Wayne's. This has got even the fairies and the little people and everything in it. So this is a really cool book. Zen Garcia, Sons of God, Skyfall, all that. Book of Enoch, all that crazy stuff. Yeah, so when you start reading this stuff and then, like, don't get me wrong, I got 9 Zachariah Sitchin books here, right? Here's one that's good, but see, Zachariah Sitchin's a CIA show. He didn't even decode the fucking, he didn't translate the Anuna, he didn't translate the Anuna properly. So you can't even take, what he's, but it's got the stories in it, right? The other side of everything is, I'm into all kinds of, I study everything, man, and that's why, when I deal with somebody in public and they're not on the same page as me and they irritate me to a point where I gotta snap back. I mean, what I'm getting at is I don't just snap at people for no reason. I mean, I get upset when I'm dealing with people who are just dumber than a block of rocks, right? So, a box of rocks. So, I mean, anyway, I guess that's it for now. This is the last video for the day. It's taking forever to upload them, but